Hi guys, Fire Plays here and welcome back to another video on the channel. And today guys, we are back again with the Fixture reaction series. Alright guys, we're going to be continuing that on. Alright guys, now this has been a really fun series to do, and there's still plenty more clubs to go on. Those clubs are being Hawthorn, of course, in today's episode, Melbourne, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Richmond, St Kilda, Sydney, West Coast and Western Bulldogs. Those are the clubs that are still to go. Adelaide, Brisbane, Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, Fremantle, Geelong, Gold Coast and GWS have all been done. They've all been done. And yeah, today it's Hawthorn's turn. Now, pretty much it's going to be the same thing. There is no difference with the Fixture reaction series except different clubs. So, of course, it's the same rough amount of wins, rough ladder position, which part's the hardest, which part's the easiest, and, of course, predicting every single game. So, let's just hop right into it. And they start off the year against North Melbourne. Now, again, this one probably is a 50-50, really. And I reckon we've got a close game here as well. I don't think it's going to be with ease that Hawthorn or North Melbourne. I think it's going to be tight. I think they're going to have to really fight hard, considering they've got some pretty good players as well, like some good top 10 picks. And we're talking Hawthorn, Josh Ward, and we're talking North Melbourne, Jason Horne-Francis. Now, whether they choose to use those guns in round one is totally up to the club, of course. But, yeah, this one could go either way. Going to say Hawthorn by about 15 is a safe bet, but I reckon it's going to be a close game. Now, in round two, they go the Adelaide Oval to play Port Adelaide. Now, in 2020, this game was actually pretty close at the Adelaide Oval when these two teams are very different. I don't think we're going to be seeing that this year. However, I think it's going to be a one-sided game in favour of Port Adelaide. At the Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide are very dominant against the lower-ranked teams there, but against like the top four, they struggled against Melbourne, Geelong. They even struggled against Richmond at the Adelaide Oval this year, who didn't even make top four, but they were still a top four team at the time they played. But they triumphed by 2 points, Port Adelaide. They won by 2 points, but it was still a tough battle for Port Adelaide in that game. But look, against Hawthorn, there should be no excuses. So it is going to be a win for Port Adelaide by 30, 40 points. Now, Sunday, April 3, another very good game here. Carlton and Hawthorne. Now, again, this one could go either way. Now, Carlton, this year I feel like they could either really rise or really fall, really be in the bottom four, or be in a contention for an 8 maybe. Now, it's probably going to be Carlton's game, so I'm going to say Carlton by about 20 points. I just think it'll go that way. I think it's going to be another really close game. And another really close game, Hawthorn and St Kilda. Now, of course, I think this one should be going in favour of the Saints. This one could be interesting. It could be interesting. Could go either way. And they've played a fair few Sunday games, I believe. That's one prime timer and 3 Sunday games so far. Against St Kilda, this one should be a St Kilda win by 35 points. Again, St Kilda should not be dropping this game, and especially because they're one of the teams looking to make the 8 again this year. Yeah, you can't be losing against Hawthorn. Now, on to Monday, April 18, Hawthorn versus Geelong. Now, Geelong should be able to do this one, so I'm going to say Geelong 30 points, comfortable win in round 5. Now, very interesting, another Monday game, Monday, April 25, Hawthorn, Sydney, UTAS Stadium. Now, this is going to be an interesting matchup. I haven't seen Sydney down at UTAS Stadium for a long time, but this one could possibly go either way. But I am definitely going to say the Swans. I think the Swans will be too strong. Now, again, the Hawks could definitely pull an upset win at Tassie, like they did towards the back end of 2021, beating Brisbane, Western Bulldogs, beating them teams down at Tasmania. But I reckon Sydney will be too strong. Now, this is a very interestingly timed game for my time anyway. It'll be 12:30 for Eastern people living in Victoria, New South Wales, Tasmania, and Queensland. But for my time, it's 12 o'clock midday. Sharp. 12 o'clock sharp midday. Now, I'm going to say Sydney by 40 points. So this is going to be a very different matchup, I reckon. It's you kind of just don't really see some teams play at some stadiums a lot, and Sydney and UTAS kind of have that. Saturday twilight for the Hawks, they play the Demons. Now, this is a Melbourne win for sure by 40 points. Saturday, May 7, Essendon vs Hawthorn. We had a very good game. Hawks taking that out by 1 point in the opening round of 2021. Now, this time, it's going to be a little bit different, especially when you have a team contending for a top 8 spot in Essendon. Now, there's many of these teams this year competing for a top 8 spot, really, and it's going to come down to the wire. So, again, for Essendon, you really shouldn't be dropping this, and they're not going to drop it. Essendon are going to win by 30 points. Now, Hawthorn, Richmond. Richmond will win this one by 20 points. I reckon Richmond are going to be another team contending for a top 8 spot this year. So, again, if you're contending for a top 8 spot, you don't want to be losing to Hawthorn. Now, Hawthorn, Brisbane, UTAS. We had this one last year, and it got very close in the end. Hawthorn almost choked. But, look, this year it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to say Brisbane to win it by 20 points. Now they go up to the NT to play Gold Coast. Now, I'm actually going to say Gold Coast are going to win this one in a bit of a shock upset, really. I reckon Gold Coast will just get the job done by 10 points. Now, Hawthorn, Collingwood, another really good matchup, especially when you see these like lower ladder position team take on a lower ladder position team. It's always good. It's always interesting. It's always good. So it's not as fun as when you see like the top 4 teams go head to head, of course, but when you see teams around the even mark, it is still pretty fun to watch. Now, I'm going to say Collingwood by 20 points, just because I think Collingwood are a little bit better. Now, there we've got Hawthorn and Fremantle over in the West. Fremantle by 30 points. Bulldogs versus Hawthorn, Marvel Stadium. Bulldogs by 40 points. GWS Hawthorn, Giants Stadium. GWS by 35 points. Now, Hawthorn, Adelaide, Marvel Stadium. Now, this one could definitely go either way. I'm going to say Adelaide just because they won in 2021 as well. And that just gives me a little bit more confidence to say the Adelaide Crows in that one by probably about 15, 20 points. Now, Hawthorn, West Coast, MCG. Another really good game here. Now, this one definitely could go either way. Although, I am just going to say probably Hawthorn, maybe Hawthorn. Look, it could go either way, and I'm going to say West Coast by 10 in a very close game. I reckon that's going to be one of the closest games this year, possibly. So maybe West Coast by 5, because it's just West Coast. Their problems away from home is it's just not good for them. And when it comes to their fixture action, it's going to be very interesting to see that. Now, North Melbourne versus Hawthorn, Blunston Arena. I don't think you can go past North in that one. So I'm going to say North Melbourne by 10. I'll go for a little bit of an upset. St Kilda Hawthorn, St Kilda by 40. Hawthorn Gold Coast UTAS. Now, that's good. That's a very good game here. Hawthorn Gold Coast UTAS. Hawthorn by 20 points, I reckon. Now, that Richmond Hawthorn, Richmond, and then Hawthorn Western Bulldogs. Both those teams will win by 20 points. So now we are going to be counting up their wins, rough ladder position, hardest and easiest part of the fixture. So I think I said Carlton, so I'm going to say 1, 2. No, 1. Still 1. 1, 2. No. Wait, hang on, wait. 2. Can't only get 2 this year. Let's just go back to start and refresh. 1. So they've got 1 there. I'm going to say Carlton. I'm going to say 2 against going to be going through a very rough patch here. 2 against Gold Coast. I think Hawthorn should be able to win that one. 3 against probably West Coast. I do actually think I've changed my mind on that. I have changed my mind on a couple of these games. So I reckon Hawthorn will beat West Coast. Wait. Yes, I reckon Hawthorn will beat West Coast. And I reckon Hawthorn will beat North. So now that we've got the clean slate, let's go give this another crack. So with their wins, 1. They do go through a bit of a rough part here though. Then they've got 2, and then they've got 3, and then they've got 4, and then they've got 5, and then 5. That's, again, for Hawthorn. It's not looking good in 2022. 5 wins will probably get you anywhere from probably about 15th to 18th, probably 16th to 18th, which we've had a couple of teams. We've had Gold Coast, we've had Carlton, that all possibly could be finishing in the bottom place. Collingwood could, Adelaide could, and then we've still got North Melbourne to come, and we've still got West Coast to come, who could still be part of that as well. But yeah, again, the hardest part of the fixture is from Port Adelaide down to, I mean, there are some winnable games in here, but from Port Adelaide down to probably Brisbane would probably be the hardest part. And in that part, you've got Port Adelaide, you've got Carlton, you've got St Kilda, you've got Geelong, you've got Sydney, you've got Melbourne, you've got Essendon, Richmond, and Brisbane. Now, most of those teams are top 8 worthy teams. There's only one in there that's Carlton. And they probably might not, or they probably won't make the 8 this year. Every other team, I mean, and then like you've got St Kilda, and Essendon and Richmond, and then you've also got GWS, Fremantle. There's 5 teams pretty much contending for a spot in the 8. So it's going to be interesting. An easiest part of the fixture is probably about here, where they have Adelaide, West Coast, and North Melbourne, because those are all very, very, very winnable games. But I do hope that you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But feel free to let me know your thoughts. Where are Hawthorn finishing on? But I do hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye guys. 5 plays out.